Friends, hi, hello, how are you? We are jumping into our second week of meals from our meal plan. Let's go. Alrighty, we are starting off with our Big Mac Sloppy Joes. So we cut up a medium size yellow onion, just diced it up. I probably could have done a little smaller, but it worked out. Then we are going to dice up some dill pickles. Again, probably should have done smaller chunks, but it worked out just fine. Then in a medium pan, we are going to take a pound of hamburger with about a tablespoon of butter, and we are just going to brown that up till it is nice and cooked through and no pink. We are going to season that with some salt and pepper. If there is any excess grease, you'll drain the grease off, mix that all in, make a mess, because that's what we do. And then we're going to add in 3/4 cup of Thousand Island dressing. I found my 3/4 cup measuring cup. And then a 1/4 cup of mayo. And then we're going to turn the heat down to low and mix that in until it is nice and combined. This did take me a little bit of a minute, but get it nice and combined. Then we are going to add in our onions and our pickles, and I did let this cook. I don't think the recipe, I think it tells you to turn the heat off. I did let it cook up a little bit because I wanted my onions to be a little bit softer, and like you can see there, these are some big chunks, so maybe cut them a little bit smaller, but this is super easy. Turn the heat off, top this with cheese, toast up your buns, and then you can serve it as is. We did do some french fries on the side. It does call for lettuce on top, but I did not have any lettuce, so we just ate sandwiches as is, and they were delicious. Let's run into Tuesday. We are doing some honey mustard pork chops and potatoes. So this is some DIY honey mustard, really easy. Tablespoon of whole grain mustard, tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Recipe does call for 1 tablespoon of honey. I did 2 because we like our honey mustard sweet. And then you add in a little splash of lemon juice, a sprinkle of salt, a sprinkle of pepper, and I think that's about it. And then mix that all up, and we are going to put that on our pork chops. One thing to remember with the pork chops is we do want to season our pork chops. So I did do salt and pepper on both sides because that's what the recipe called for. And then winging it the way I do, I did add in the garlic and herb kinder seasoning because it is one of our favorites and it complemented the lemon juice that was in the honey mustard. And make sure you do season both sides. Once these are seasoned, we are going to pour on our honey mustard mixture. And just make sure that both chops are covered fairly evenly. I did have to cook these thick cut pork chops longer than like your standard chops, but it was really good. And then we are going to cut up our potatoes because I just did some pan fried potatoes and struggled with my tripod to stay still while I was cutting these potatoes. It's just a struggling night. So I think I did about 6 medium sized potatoes, small to medium. Just diced them up bite size into a pan with some butter and some garlic salt. And then because potatoes always need a good dose of salt, we did add in some Johnny seasoned salt because I keep both on hand. And to jazz these up even more, we're going to toss in some bacon bits. And these pre-cooked cut bacon bits, when you heat them up, they get nice and crispy and so good. And of course, we missed the sizzle last week, so here is some sizzle. So the chops went in for 20 minutes on one side. We are going to pull them out, flip them over, and then take a basting brush and take that remaining sauce and just smush it over the top again. I did do another 20 minutes on this side and ended up doing an additional 10. And I'm going to throw in another sizzle shot here. But like I said, those thick cut pork chops did take a little bit longer. So this one was delicious and the kids loved the pork chops and the potatoes. What can I say? My kids are meat and taters kind of kids. So then we roll into the next day. We are doing a crock pot root beer chicken. So these are chicken thighs. The recipe did say to do boneless, but I was not taking the bones out of these. So we are seasoning with salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. Then we are going to layer on a thick layer of barbecue sauce. I really just emptied out the end of this bottle. Fun trick, if you ever are struggling to get all the barbecue sauce out, put in a smidgen of water, shake your bottle, and then put that in there. It juices it right up and cleans out the bottle. Then we are going to add in our root beer. It did call for like 1 can of root beer, so an 8-ounce, 12-ounce can, something like that. So we toss that in, put this on low for 7 hours, and then you will shred it later on. But as a side dish, we did do some white cheddar shells pastaroni because that is one of our favorites, and it does go really well with the chicken. So pulled out the bones once it was done cooking, shredded up with my forks because I did not want to take my mixer out for this. There wasn't enough in there. And a little more ASMR for you. And this recipe did say to either serve over rice or as a sandwich, so we chose to do sandwiches with some pickles and again, crowd favorite with the kids. And for the last night of the week, we did do grilled steaks, and I was supposed to do a broccoli salad recipe, and I did not get to it because my broccoli was bad, so we just did some baked potatoes. I promise salad recipe will be coming soon. We've been enjoying dinner out on our deck. So that's going to conclude today's video. If you guys do like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and spread kindness like glitter. See you guys.